So this was the first appearance of Gambit that I ever owned. I got it when I was really young and a little bit naive, but it was worth it. We all got to start somewhere. I never fault anyone for starting. But it was like one of the first like expensive like key issue worthwhile comics that I got. And it wasn't in the slab. I bought it like as an issue I could read, and I read it a bunch of times. So then when I put it in a box and grew up a bit and a few years went by, and then I heard of CGC, and I was like, you can get your comics graded and you could know exactly what their value is or what their condition is. And that was really interesting to me. So I packed this up and I packed up a few other comics and I got them sent in to get graded. And it came back as a 6.5, which is not a very good grade. There's not a lot of value in this comic book right now. I haven't checked recently because it's disappointing. But I can still read this issue. But this issue has been on display a whole bunch, which this is the bag it was in. And like there's like pinholes where it was hung up like with a thumbtack to a wall to be on display. And that might not be how I want to display this issue. Because I also can't guarantee what condition it's in. I might think it's a 9 and it might come back as like a 7.5. And I might be disappointed like that, which I am aware of because I experienced it right here. But I also bought like a better condition version because I'm a big fan of Gambit and I like having his first appearance. I have a couple, maybe more than you see here. But what I found was this company called Comic Case. They had a Kickstarter and I was a part of that, and then they got independent funding and they didn't need to have a Kickstarter anymore. So whoever contributed to Kickstarter could still get like first dibs on orders. So I jumped in on that and I got some first dibs. What's neat about it is that it provides like similar protection, and you can just pop it open and pop your comic in and then close it again. And if you want to take it back out, you can take it back out. And like it's not trapped in there forever like the CGC slab. You can still hang it up for display. It's got its own hook. And like it takes up a little more size, but that's to keep it durable and rigid and that it won't get damaged now. Because there's some things that you might not want to send in to get graded because you might not think it's worth it. But like, as I said, it's still a cool issue that you would want to put on display. So these are my first appearance of Power Girl. If you're a fan of DC, the Justice Society, the All-Star Squadron, this issue I got graded. This issue I got from like a flea market or like a smaller store. It's not in very good condition. There's some water damage. Like the cover is kind of wrinkly. There's color stain on it. And like who knows what the interior might have. So I'd still want to show it off. I'd still want to be like, I'm a fan of JSA. I'm a fan of Power Girl. This is her first appearance. But I don't want to get it in the hard case, but I still want it protected, which is where the comic case would come in. And I just order a few of those and put it in that. So with the company, I encourage you to check them out. Their comic case, they have, let's see, it's archival grade plastic, UV inhibited, so it won't get sun damaged. It won't get like a sun bleaching. There might be issues that you still want to put on display, but like you don't want to worry about them getting damaged still. Like they might deserve something better than the regular bag and board, something a bit more firm. So like this is an older issue. It's key because it's when the first time Hal Jordan met Alan Scott, but like I might not want to get it graded. That might actually devalue it. And then there might be issues that you brought to the convention yourself. You met the artist and they signed it for you. So it's their signature. If you try and get that sent into the CGC, it won't get the right grade. It'll come back with a unqualified signature. Unqualified signature. We'll get it right sometime. And you don't want to really risk that. So you could still display it with it still being protected with the UV, with unauthenticated. Thank you. And you can still display it. It'll still look nice. It'll still be protected. And you'll still have like that proof of like, yeah, I met Ivan Rice or I met Howard Porter. And they're really cool guys. And here's my shit to prove that. Even better if you have it signed to you and it's personalized, which is one of the things I like about these, is that you can still see it. It'll protect them from all kinds of things. And one of the other options you could get is you can get an option to get them with a frame, so that it's more like a picture or, a piece of art. It's got a frame around it now, which means like just this hanging on the wall would look different than this hanging on the wall. It kind of classes it up a little bit, but also it'll pop right out of it too. It's super lightweight. It's just really light plastic, so you're not going to like worry about pulling a nail out of the wall. And also, one of the features is a space at the bottom where you can put in, your label if you want to label your issues. So when you file them and we look for them again, or if like your friend comes over, interesting. I had a timer to know how far I was going. Someone might not know what your issue is, so it's like that's the first appearance of Apocalypse. They could read it because you can put your label in there. You can just print it out yourself, like I did, like right before we started this video. So this has been part 1 of our comic case review for checking out these new fancy protectors. They're affordable. It's different than getting them graded, and we'll have a part 2 to see how durable they are and how well they protect the comics inside of them.